Welcome back to the Bitcoin Brew. I'm Amy here with Becca. And FYI, neither of us are financial advisors, and this programming is for edutainment purposes only. We are supported by the TVC, a nonprofit advocacy group for blockchain, crypto, and Bitcoin innovation in Texas. But these opinions are our own. Please subscribe to our channel and give this vid a like. This week, Bitcoin is trading around $21,400. It went from a 3-month high of $25,000 on Monday to a 3-week low of $21,000 on Friday of last week. ETH is down 4% at $1,600. Septembers in the past have been red. Maybe we're going to find a bottom soon. Also, key to note is what's going to happen in the market after Jerome Powell's speech later today. Hot topics today are an extensive ATM hack, uncovering the current hype around Ethereum, Bitcoin transaction fees hitting an all-time low, and the status on stablecoins in Texas. Let's dive in.
On August 18th, the Bitcoin ATM company General Bytes discovered their ATMs had been hacked. Apparently, hackers modified a few settings that sent all the Bitcoin bought through the ATM to the hacker's wallet. On the General Bytes website, they pride themselves on the grandiosity of their company, stating General Bytes is the world's largest Bitcoin, blockchain, and cryptocurrency ATM manufacturer. This company hosts over 13,000 Bitcoin ATMs in almost 150 countries, which is very impressive. General Bytes has on their website their core values. First line, it says truth, privacy, and freedom, and they go on to say more. When I saw how widespread this hack was, I went to the General Bytes Twitter account to see if maybe they had posted something there, and unfortunately, they had not posted anything. So I sent a message to General Bytes asking if they had any comment about the hack and how it affects their users. And I've yet to receive a response. However, I'm not big on Twitter, so I'm not surprised. Yet. Right. All right. So although this hack doesn't directly affect users that we know of, it is a breach of trust. Companies in this space need to be overly transparent because cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin are still so new. We want to build that trust.
We did a piece, remember, was it episode 10? It was with Ryan, and he was very leery about Bitcoin ATMs.
Check out Bitcoin Brew Instagram for the reel or the live of Amy losing $10 to a malfunction on a Bitcoin ATM.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even touch the hacking piece, but we talked about how they could sometimes malfunction, they sometimes just disappear, and now adding this layer of it being hacked, that's crazy.
Yes, it is. I think it's unfortunate too because they are in so many different countries, so that means a lot of people probably were scammed. But hopefully it was, I don't know, it's just hard to tell kind of how deep the hack went, because I think it was just for one day before they found out and they got it shut down. But the fact that they hadn't posted anything about it was a little bit, I don't know.
That's not right. Not to warn people not to withdraw or deposit. The market as it is right now being pretty low, as we discuss a lot on the show, we haven't heard a lot of hacking activities going on as we did back in the heyday when prices were through the roof. So kind of interesting to hear a hacking story at this stage of the game.
Hackers coming in wherever they can, I guess.
Yes, they are.
Have you ever heard of buy the rumor, sell the news?
I have heard that. Funny that you bring that up because right now this is maybe going on with Ethereum. Ethereum is having a really good week, up 106% since June, outperforming Bitcoin by 63% good. I had to figure out what was this all about. So, as you know, I did my research and I found out that this is about something called the merge that's happening. Next month, the blockchain will officially move from proof of work to proof of stake. Bellatrix, which is their first upgrade in this process, will happen on September 6th when the consensus layer updates. Next, the execution layer will update, and when the computing power is complete, the final block is achieved, aka terminal total difficulty. Boom! Once that happens, the next block on the chain will be proof of stake, and Ethereum 2.0 will be born. In episode 13, you compared proof of work to a lottery among the miners in reward for a block reward. I'm summarizing it greatly. So I'm going to try to take a stab at proof of stake. This is also a consensus mechanism. However, validators are randomly chosen to verify the transaction, compensating them in return with crypto. Therefore, only a percentage of the computers are selected to do the work. After a miner verifies the block, it is added to the chain, and the miner receives cryptocurrency fee as well as their original stake back. If the miner does not verify the block correctly, the miner's stake or their coins can be lost. So having miners stake their own assets is kind of a protection mechanism, keeps them from committing fraud, and adds a layer of protection. You still with me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I hope so.
Okay.
I think so.
The appeal of proof of stake is that it increases transaction speeds, it is more easily scalable, and it uses less energy. In fact, the Ethereum Foundation estimates that 99.95% less energy will be needed using this algorithm. However, you must have a large stake of Ethereum to be selected as a validator. And there have been several testnets that have rolled out since December of 2020 to get us to this point. So the keys to success here will be, is Ethereum going to honor that mid-September deadline? There's kind of a difference of dates. You see anytime between the 10th to the 20th. Some people are nailing it down to September 15th. And then also the number of validators that will be participating. Last little note I wanted to make is that Binance and Coinbase are going to temporarily pause any deposits or withdrawals for Ethereum and ERC20 tokens during the merge event. So don't panic if you can't transact those coins during this time.
It's so interesting. And something like this that I know of has never happened before. And Ethereum has always been, number two. Like, it's a pretty strong number two. It has a lot of different projects working on it. So this is going to be a massive change for the whole industry. And I know I've heard somebody, it's widely talked about. You have privacy, scalability, and decentralization, right?
Right.
Those are the three?
Three kind of aspects, like perks of...
Yes.
Perks.
I think we got that right. Okay. And so it sounds like they're moving away from decentralization, right? And towards scalability, because that's what Bitcoin on the layer 1 protocol has the most trouble with. But I think it is just, I don't know, it's one of the things that makes it so great is that it is so decentralized. Is it easier to be hacked if it's on proof of stake?
That's an excellent question. I'm not sure. But I do know that I think one of the major pushes to get to this point is because of the energy usage component. Mm-hmm. And I was really surprised that there's such a drastic savings from an energy perspective by making this shift. Mm-hmm. So you think it's going to stay number 2? Is it going to move up or down?
Oh, it's never going to overtake Bitcoin. I know that for sure.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, no worries there.
We'll see. Ethereum is having a historic high this week. Bitcoin actually saw a historic low that you were going to talk to us about.
Yes, we saw a historic low in that Bitcoin transaction fees fell lower than $1. So you might be even wondering, what is a Bitcoin transaction fee? Let's dive in a little bit deeper. With any payment you make using fiat currency, we'll use a credit card payment, for example, there's a fee associated with it that pays the company who secures it, like Visa or MasterCard. With credit cards, it's usually a 30% fee plus a 2 to 4% of whatever the dollar amount of the purchase was. So as a side note, these fees exponentially hurt companies whose product or service has a lower dollar amount, like, a convenience store or something like that. So with Bitcoin, it's similar, but much more efficient. We know that Bitcoin miners receive a block reward when they've mined a Bitcoin block. Each block reward contains the Bitcoin mined, as well as the transaction fees that were associated with the previous 10 minutes worth of Bitcoin transactions. The miners receive these payments for keeping the Bitcoin network secure. Currently, the transaction fees are pretty much negligible. To put it in perspective, out of the entire block reward, the transaction fees are about 1%. The cool thing about Bitcoin transaction fees, though, is that they are a fraction of what a traditional payment system would be. For on-chain transactions, they're currently around $1. For Lightning Network payments, they are a fraction of a penny. So you're basically paying no transaction fees. This is another component of Bitcoin that is central to its philosophy. No corruption, no big man pushing smaller guys aside. And again, when you take out the human aspect of money, it's just so much less corrupt. And this is kind of what makes me nervous about moving from proof of work to proof of stake for Ethereum, is that Ethereum's already kind of on the rocks, in my opinion, because it is centralized, with there being a known, creator. They can make changes that totally change the network. So with Bitcoin, you know exactly what you're getting into. And it is so decentralized that it's not going to be hacked. It's not going to be corrupted. So that's why I'm not at all worried about Ethereum overtaking Bitcoin, is because it's just two totally different projects, essentially.
I see that. I can see what you mean. And is the transaction fees related to the level of difficulty? Like the miners, if the level of difficulty goes down, does that correlate with lower transaction fees?
No. So as far as I understand it, it doesn't, because transaction fees is all about how many users are trading Bitcoin during that time frame.
Okay.
If that makes sense. So
it does.
The miners are using the difficulty level to get the Bitcoin. It's not so much as the users.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
And this is a good step towards adoption, because if we can show that Bitcoin transactions cost you less than a credit card transaction, then start transacting with Bitcoin.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it. Well, speaking of pushing and shoving, there is a battle happening here in Texas in regards to stablecoin possession. The CEO of the United Texas Bank, Scott Beck, has proposed a plan for managing USD stablecoins and protecting users. He suggests that these digital assets be issued and offered by traditional brick-and-mortar banks and prohibit them from being handled by native cryptocurrency companies. The Texas Blockchain Working Group, established by House Bill 1576 last session, they were present for testimony, and they respectfully disagree with Beck and believe that this order would be anti-competitive by giving the bank monopoly over the industry. Plus, the Fed doesn't really hold the best outlook on stablecoins for several reasons. Firstly, it challenges their monetary control. Secondly, it competes with the dollar dominance. And thirdly, they don't appreciate that it's pegged by financial assets versus dollars. Beck went so far as to say the stablecoin issuers are, quote, sucking deposits out of banks, are vulnerable, and threaten the economy due to their lack of regulation. So there's a lot of buy-in with stablecoins right now, to the tune of about $110 billion. So I'm wondering, is this how they're going to strangle the stablecoin industry and make way for the CBDC? I don't really understand what the motivation is behind this.
Yeah, it does sound to me like maybe they're a little bit threatened and don't quite understand the purpose of stablecoins and, why they are so huge right now. Do you think that could be it?
I agree. And back to your DeFi point, putting the ownership of control into the central bank is sort of defeating the whole purpose of the stable coin.
Right. Yeah. I do think there is a power struggle. I mean, it's not really a power struggle right now because cryptocurrency isn't that big yet. And there are so many different projects out there. But I think eventually it's going to be more and more of a conversation that's going to happen. And I am glad that the Texas Blockchain Council is doing so much work on the ground and really doing a good job of explaining what's happening, what the purpose of it is, how they can work together. So I think we're going to see a positive outcome. So I think it's okay. I think they'll figure it out.
Thank you. You always help to calm my fears, Becca. Thank you. So viewers, are you into policy, Bitcoin, the future of DeFi space? If the answer is yes, then you need to grab a ticket to our upcoming Texas Blockchain Summit on November 17th and 18th in Austin. We have just secured CFTC Commissioner Caroline Pham. Aaron Levy from Vespine is coming.
Very exciting.
Amanda Cavallari. So many more. Check out our website at the bottom of our screen, and we'll take you over to our summit website. Don't forget to use your code BTC Brew for you. That'll get you 10% off your summit ticket. And you can also check out now using PayPal, Bitcoin, ETH, and other cryptos now accepted. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching the Texas Blockchain Council. We've got more videos, more great content, and we are a nonprofit. So if you could send your Bitcoin here, this is my personal wallet address. And don't ask me for my seed phrase.